Yeah, good morning, everybody. So let's begin the class. In the previous class, we have seen types of efficiencies. Okay, there are three types of efficiencies: overall, Murphy plate efficiency, point or local efficiency. So if the column is there, so efficiencies. If you consider the column, in this column there are number of plates. Okay, depending on the operation of these plates, the entire efficiency of the distillation column will differ. If this is a partial condenser, okay, if this is a partial condenser, this is also one plate. Okay, anyway, this reboiler is also one type of plate. This is also plate. If this is a partial condenser, this is also plate. Whereas if this is a total condenser, this is not counted as a plate. So this is plate. All these are plates. Depending on these plates, the efficiency of the overall operating of this column will depend. So efficiencies are defined as three types. If the efficiency is defined throughout this column, then that efficiency is called as a overall efficiency. Overall efficiency, which is nothing but plate. If n number of plates are there, so this distillation column entirely contains n number of plates. So n theoretical or ideal, we can say, or equilibrium plates. Okay, n theoretical or ideal or equilibrium plates divided by n actual or n practical, we can say, practically how many number of plates used into 100, which is called as overall efficiency. If the efficiency is defined for only the single plate, it is called as a Murphy plate efficiency. Murphy plate efficiency. Okay, if it is singly defined for a single plate. Okay, then the third efficiency is if the efficiency is defined with respect to the single location on each plate. Okay, any location on each plate, then that efficiency is called as a point efficiency for a single point, or it is called as a local efficiency. So these two efficiencies are defined with respect to the vapor flow rates. So if this is nth plate and this is n minus 1th plate, then this is n plus 1th plate. Then the vapor, if you want to just apply the efficiency, okay, if you want to evaluate the single plate efficiency for the plate n, then we know the fact that vapors are coming from the bottom to top. Vapors are just rising from bottom to top. So for this plate, the vapors are coming from this Vn plus 1, sorry, this with respect to yn plus 1, this is with respect to composition. We can write V also, V comma, then the vapors leaving from this plate is yn. Then liquid is flowing from the top to bottom in the distillation column. So then liquid is coming to this nth plate from the plate L comma this x n minus 1. From this plate, above plate it is coming. Then the liquid leaving from this plate is xn. Then Murphy plate efficiency is defined with respect to the vapor composition. Then the Murphy plate efficiency is denoted by neta to the subscript m, capital M, is equal to yn. So this one, the leaving, the vapor composition of vapor which is leaving from this plate minus vapor composition which is entering towards this plate, plus divided by, so if that operation is carried out at equilibrium condition, sorry, ideal condition, then yn star minus yn plus 1. This is called Murphy plate efficiency. Similarly, if you want to calculate the point efficiency or local efficiency at single location, if you want to calculate at a single this location, so same formula. So it will be local efficiency or a point efficiency is denoted by neta prime is equal to yn local or point at a single point minus yn plus 1 local divided by yn star comma local minus yn plus 1 local. This is the formula for point efficiency. This is for Murphy plate efficiency. If the efficiency is defined for overall column, then that efficiency is called as a overall efficiency. If the efficiency is defined for only single plate, it is called as a Murphy plate efficiency. If the efficiency is defined for a single location on a plate, is called as a point or local efficiency. So this point or local efficiency and Murphy plate efficiency are defined with respect to the vapor composition. So to operate a column successfully until a desired separation achieved, so we need to evaluate efficiency of each plate. Okay, point efficiency is not many times used, only in special occasions it is used, but the Murphy plate efficiency as well as the overall efficiency is frequently used in order to see that our desired target has been achieved or not in the industries. So these two efficiencies are very important, Murphy efficiency and overall efficiency. But in your old question papers, they are asking explain about the types of efficiencies. When they are asking about explain the types of efficiencies, we have to define that there are three efficiencies, out of which the first efficiency is defined throughout the overall column with respect to the number of plates. N plates, theoretical plates or ideal plates or the equilibrium plates divided by N actual or practical plates into 100 is called as a overall efficiency. Then the Murphy plate efficiency with respect to the vapor composition is defined as, so you have to you have to draw this plate for the same point or local efficiency, same one you have to draw with a composition yn local. You have to keep here yn local, yn plus 1 local, already provided in the material. Just see that one, they are asking many times. Then you have to expand what is this terms. Yn is composition of vapor which is leaving the plate n, and composition, this yn plus 1 is the composition of vapor which is coming towards the plate n. So yn star is composition of vapor leaving the plate if that is at equilibrium condition, minus yn plus 1 is same, the composition of vapor which is entering the plate n. Similarly, yn local is local composition of plate which is leaving the plate n, and this is entering the plate n, local composition. So local composition at equilibrium conditions. So like this you have to explain this one. Then we completed this types of efficiency, and last topic in this unit is this one, factors influencing the plate efficiencies. We have defined various efficiencies. Now what are the factors that will influence on the efficiencies? So if you see, the first factor is a feed conditions and physical properties. So feed conditions, we already know there are 5 types of feed conditions. One is a cold feed, one is a saturated liquid, then saturated vapor, partial vapor, superheated vapor. Like this, 5 different conditions are there. If the feed conditions are changing, then efficiency will be reduced or increased depending on the particular operating conditions. So if the how the feed conditions are changing, depending on that, the number of plates will also change, because the feed line will have a direct influence on the calculation of number of plates. Then the next one is physical properties. So physical properties like viscosity, density, volatility, so everything will play a major role, because when viscosity is very high for the particular liquid or a particular feed mix, the pumping cost will be very high. The density is should not be very high. Then relative volatility should be very high, because the more volatile component, relative volatility should be high. Then only the separation by distillation is very easy. Alpha is greater than 1, then only the separation by distillation is possible. If alpha is equal to 1, separation by distillation is impossible. If alpha is greater than 1, then the separation by distillation is easy. So these are the first factor which influences. Then now we will see what are the feed conditions, how the feed conditions will influence our plate efficiency or a number of plates. If number of plates are increasing for the desired degree of separation, meaning for each plate there are each efficiency, Murphy plate efficiency is there. So the next one is factors affecting efficiency. So factors which are affecting efficiency. The first one is feed conditions. Feed conditions and physical properties. Feed conditions and physical properties. If you consider this as an equilibrium diagram between X and Y, so this will be the diagonal, and this will be the equilibrium curve. Then first one, we have to just locate our xd according to McCarthy method. Then this xd needs to be projected until the diagonal is reached. Then from this diagonal, using the operating line for stripping enriching section, which is y is equal to r by r plus 1x plus xd by r plus 1. So using the slope or intercept, we have to draw our operating line for the top section or a enriching section. Then the feed xf, we have to locate mole fraction of more volatile component in the feed, which is xf. We have to locate on the x-axis. Then we need to project this up to the diagonal. Then depending on our feed conditions are five types of feed conditions are there. One is liquid is subcooled or what we call this cold liquid. Feed is our cold liquid. Then our operating line, our feed line, is given as y is equal to minus q by 1 minus qx plus xf by 1 minus q. This is our feed line equation or a q line equation. Using this slope or intercept, we can calculate, we can just draw that feed line. If this is a cold feed means for the cold feed, q will be greater than 1. Then our our feed line will be like this. So q is greater than 1. Then what happens? The number of plates when you calculate here will be very high, because until here the graph paper will show that maximum number of plates will be achieved until here. Then after that the usual phenomena will apply, stripping section and everything. So if you see, the next condition of a feed is saturated liquid. Saturated liquid or feed at its bubble point. For this condition, what is Q value? Q value is equal to 1. For the Q value is equal to 1, we know that it is straight vertical line. Q is equal to 1. Then our the plates, okay, increases or decreases compared to this one will depend on that particular operating stripping section and everything. So then next condition is saturated vapor. For saturated vapor, or the feed is at its dew point. For this condition, Q value is Q is equal to 0. So Q is equal to 0, we know that it is a straight horizontal line. Q is equal to 0. Then the next condition is feed is partial vapor, partially vaporized. That feed is partially vaporized means our condition will be, Q line will be this one. So Q is in between 0 to 1. Q will be in between 0 to 1. Then the next condition will be fifth feed condition is superheated vapor. Superheated vapor. The condition for the Q line is Q is less than 0. Then our feed line will be like this. Q less than 0. Okay, depending on this operating line, this is depending on this feed line, the number of plates will influence. Because of this influencing on the equilibrium diagram, the efficiency will reduce or decrease, increase or decrease. So because of this, this is also one factor in evaluating the efficiencies. It will also depend on the feed conditions to a large extent. And next, the physical parameters like volatility. Volatility should be high. So if volatility should be is high, then our separation by distillation is very easy. If viscosity is very high, then pumping cost will be very high. So that will also add a cost to the operation of distillation. If density is high, the liquids usually to reach, it will require a high temperature to reach into the vapor phase. So depending on the operating conditions, the density we can't comment that it will be low or it will be high. But viscosity, we directly comment that viscosity, increase in viscosity will add a cost to the pumping. Then decrease in the relative volatility will add a temperature cost or a heat cost to the distillation cost. So because of this, the column efficiency will be dependent on feed conditions as well as physical properties. Then the next one is types and structures of column. Then structure of a column. Okay, usually the columns will be a cylindrical type, but the structure of a plate inside that one, there are number of plates like sieve plate trays will be there, like perforated trays or this, what we call this bubble cap trays. So what is the role of these caps, bubble caps, or what is the role of these perforations inside this one? What is the role of plate? So if you see, the next parameter is column and plates. Okay. Columns will usually, depending on the column diameter, so our efficiency will be there. If you want to, large column diameters are preferable. Column diameter, if you neglect that one, the plates we will see in detail. So plate, if you see here, then it is upper downcomer. This is downcomer, and this is some wear will be there. So this will guide the liquid to reach to the next plate. These downcomers will guide the liquid to reach from the next plate. The liquid is flowing like this. So here, in each plate, there will be perforations. So perforation means small holes will be there. Depending on the size of the hole, the vapors, so the vapors will rise. So the phenomena takes place here in this one is the vapor should rise from this bubble, from these holes, small holes, and it should reach this liquid. And here, the interfacial contact between liquid and vapor will be possible on the plate. But the condition is this liquid will not have to flow from these perforations. The liquid will have to flow from this region only, like this. Like this, it should fall on the next plate. It should not come. This liquid should not come from these perforations, from these small holes. The liquid should not come. Only these perforations are for vapors to get contact with the liquid on the plate. Then here the mass transfer will take place on the plate by the vapor and liquid contact. Liquid and vapor will get a contact on the plate. But this will not happen in the distillation column. In a true ideal conditions, through these perforations, only liquid has to rise. Vapor has to rise. Liquid has to just the flow rate, the flow of liquid will be like this. Using this way, after overflowing this way, this has to flow according to the downcomer, according to the direction which is given in the downcomer. But in the practical conditions, some part of the liquid will be just coming, draining from this one. So we will discuss that one, that operating conditions, how that draining will happen. To lower that, what are the necessary precautions we have to take, that we will discuss. But before that, the perforations will be there. The role of these perforations is to rise the vapors. So the vapors, the flow rate will be sufficient to just handle this liquid, to just hold that liquid on the plate, so that the interface mass transfer can take place on the plate itself. So the column efficiency will also depend on the tray, and in terms it is also dependent on the these holes, perforation holes and perforation diameter. Or if you say some plates will be like this one, bubble cap trays, we will say this as a bubble cap trays. So in this bubble cap trays, what is this bubble cap trays? If you see this as a plate, straight plate, the area which is available for the vapor liquid contact is this much area. Okay, if you see this one, the contact area is increasing. So the vapor liquid contact area is like this. It is happening like the shaded position. So the contact area will be increased. Obviously, when liquid and vapor contact area is increased, so there is a possibility that particular operation will reach an equilibrium. Our condition is to reach the vapor and liquid under equilibrium conditions. But usually, because of the less contact time in the distillation column, the equilibrium cannot be reached. But using the assumptions in the McCabe-Thiele method, we are assuming that it will be reached. So all the necessary precautions will be ensured so as to our vapor and liquid could reach a equilibrium. Because of this, various designs of the plates, various designs of the columns are possible. So during the design considerations, we have to consider all these aspects. So in the operating efficiency will be dependent on our column and uh, plates, column and types of plates. So tray type, when some liquid is fouling liquid is there, some components are corrosive liquids, then our column material building will also come into the major play. Then hole size, the perforation size will also play a major role. Then wear height, then that wear height, what is wear? Wear is this one. So this is plate. So this is called a wear. So this is called a wear. After overflowing to this way, the liquid will be just pulled inside the plate. Okay, above the plate, the liquid will be pulled like this. Once it reaches the weir height, this much weir height, then the liquid has to overflow. So because to increase a what we call increase a contact time between vapor and liquid, we are providing some weir here. This is called a weir. So weir height will also have a influence. If weir height is so much high, so the liquid has to reach this weir height. The time will be increased to reach this weir height. Then the overflow will happen. If the weir height is very low until here, if the weir is this much low, then immediately the liquid will be pulled on the tray and it will start to overflow. So when this is overflowing, the contact time between vapor and liquid is very low. If the weir height is very high, so what will happen? The operating time of the distillation column will be very high. So we need to optimize this weir height. Then only the efficiency will be ideal. Otherwise, the efficiency will be reduced drastically when we have a very low wear height, or on the other hand we have a very high wear height, then the operating cost or operating time will be very high for the distillation column. Therefore, a proper optimum wear height needs to be uh, designed when we are designing the distillation column. So the column efficiency will also depend on the type of tray, the building material of the tray, and size of the hole, and the hole size of the tray, as well as the perforation size, then wear height. So every parameter will comes to play on the major role on this efficiency of a plate or a efficiency of a column. Then next one is operating conditions. So liquid and vapor fluids. How the liquid and vapor fluids are there, depending on that one, the contact interface mass transfer will also depend. So what is the maximum and minimum limit to fix the vapor and liquid fluid? Before that, we have to understand that what is the phenomena is happening there. So I will discuss that one. Then reflux ratio. So reflux ratio. Why the reflux? You see in the equilibrium diagram. So if you see one, this line, this line section or enriching section will depends on this reflux ratio R. R is equal to L by D. So depending on this one only, our this top section operating line will come like this or like this, or it will come bottom, or depending on this only, it will the line straight line, the shape will be there. Straight line angle will be there. So the angle will be lower or angle will be higher in between these two, or diagonal and operating line will depend on the reflex ratio. Because of this, this is also R is also one type of factor which influences the efficiency of the plate. So depending on the reflex ratio, the column efficiency will be increased or decreased. We have to study in detail about that one during the experimentation. Then next one is the composition of the mixture. So composition of the mixture, whether the composition is visible composition or invisible composition, depending on that also the plate will have a huge influence on that. Then the entrainment. So this one, see, all these are the flow regions: entrainment, foaming, weeping, flooding. So everything this comes under the column operating conditions. What are these column operating conditions? If you see this one, try to explain in detail about this one. These parameters are very important: flooding, foaming, everything. So like the first one is foaming. If you consider, what is foaming? Foaming is nothing but, in general sense, it is nothing but formation of a foam is called a foaming. So if you consider a column, so inside this one, plate will be there. So weigh and down come. So only two plates I am just considering. If the liquid in this plate, nth plate, okay, this is n minus 1th plate. If the liquid in this nth plate is just a formable liquid, so what happens? The vapors are rising from bottom to top. When this vapors touches this liquid, what happens? If that liquid is expandable liquid or formable liquid, the foams will form like this. So these foams will have a tendency to go until the next plate, and it will disturb, this foam will disturb the next plate fluid also. next the liquid which is there in the next plate, then what happens, the contamination has will be take place. So if the above plate, if this above plate will have the more volatile component, XD composition is very high, so very very high, but due to this foaming, it what happens, this foam will reaching the next above plate, then what happens, it will contaminate this XD composition, more volatile component with a less volatile component, very much high. So foaming is nothing but expansion of a liquid by passing the gas or vapor is called as a foaming. When there is excessive foaming, some to some extent this foaming is advantageous. When the foam bubbles are formed, the vapor liquid contacting will be very high. The surface area available for the contact will be this much. This all is the surface area which is available for vapor liquid contact. If this is a vapor bubble, the liquid has to contact to the circumference of this round bubble. So surface area will be increased and mass transfer will increase to some extent. When the foaming is very, 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 very high, then what happens? This foam will reach to the next plate, above the plate. So then next plate, when it is reaching, this foam will contaminate the more volatile component which is there in the above plate. Then that will cause a contamination of distillate, output distillate. That will result in contamination of distillate. So this will reduce the efficiency of the plate to some extent. So the maximum extent it will reduce. Then next one is the entrainment. Then what is entrainment? So entrainment is nothing but, if you consider the column, all these are the column channeling or the column inefficiency it will show. When these parameters are there, foaming, entrainment, or dumping, weeping, or flooding, everything is there. Column is inefficient to perform the operation. So we have to lower these parameters first. If you consider this one as a above plate and this is a bottom plate, and next similarly like this, the plates will be there. Then how the entrainment will occur? So usually what happens, liquid will be there here. So then vapors are rising through this liquid. Then vapor flow rate will be there V, and liquid flow rate will be there L. When vapor flow rate is very, 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 very high, then what happens? This liquid, this will carry this liquid to the next plate. This liquid will be fed to the next plate. Instead of flowing to the bottom, this liquid, instead of flowing this way, it will just these vapors, because this vapors has a very high flow rate. It will rise above the plate. So this liquid will carry to the, that vapor will carry the liquid to the next plate. This is called as a entrainment. So entrainment refers to the liquid carried by vapor up to the tray above tray, up to the above tray is again is caused by the high vapor flow rates. So it is detrimental to the tray efficiency, because tray efficiency will be drastically reduced. The role of this distillation trace is to flow the liquid after the weight, it has to flow to the bottom. That liquid has to flow to the bottom. Instead, because of this high velocity, high flow of this vapor, these vapors are carrying the liquid to the above plate. Means you under ideal conditions, what happens? The liquid has to flow from top to bottom. Vapor has to flow from bottom to top. But because of this entrainment, the reverse phenomena is happening. What is this reverse phenomena? The liquid is flowing from the bottom to top. Because of this, plate efficiency will be very much reduced. So it will also contaminate the distillate, the more volatile component which is present in the above plate. Ultimately, it will also contaminate the distillate present on the which we are taking as a output, output or a product. So entrainment is nothing but when there is a high vapor flow rates, the liquid will carry, the vapor will carry the liquid to the above plate. It is called as a entrainment. Then what is flooding? So flooding also a similar phenomena. When entrainment is very high, when flow rate, this vapor flow rate is even more high than the entrainment, then what happens? This liquid will entirely carry to the above the column. Instead of only one plate above the column, above this plate, it will carry to the throughout the column, above the column. Then excessive entrainment is called as a flooding. Excessive entrainment is called as a flooding. So if you see this one, next one is flooding. So this is also flooding also caused by high flow rates, high vapor flow rates. So this is plate. This is plate and this is plate and this is also plate and this is column top conditions. Column top conditions. So entrainment will take place because of high vapor flow rates, high V, high V I am writing. So because of this high V, what happens? This liquid which is there in this plate, it will carry to this plate. So liquid will flow like this, so above the plate. Then this is called as a entrainment. So at very high flow rates of vapor, the liquid will carried by this vapor to the next plate, next above plate is called as entrainment. When this liquid at very high flow rates, at very high flow rates, high vapor flow rates, the liquid will carry to the plate not only above, liquid will carry to the above very top of the column. So all the column, the liquid will be just sent back to the above the column. So in under this condition, it is called as a flooding. So at very high flow rates, when entrainment is there, that at very high flow rates, that phenomena is called as flooding. But high flow rates, the liquid, the vapor is carrying the liquid to the above plate, only above, up to the above plate, it is called as a entrainment. Then the next phenomena is weeping or flooding, weeping or dumping. Next one. So next one is weeping or dumping. Okay, this is caused due to low vapor flow rates. So above three phenomena, foaming, then flooding, entrainment is caused by high vapor flow rates. But this phenomena, weeping or dumping, is caused by low vapor flow rates. So if you consider this as a column, so in the column, same number of plates will be there. These plates will be there like this. So the phenomena occurs here. Now it comes the phenomena. If this is perforated plate, some small holes will be there on these plates. So the role of these holes is the vapor has to rise through these holes and it has to contact the liquid which is present on the on this tray. So instead of when there is very low flow rates, very low flow rates, very low V, what happens? This liquid, whatever the liquid is there, will come through these holes, will just weep through these holes. Then this phenomena is called as a weeping. Then this, if the vapor flow rates are very low vapor flow rates, then what will happen? The large part of the liquid will be just leaking from these holes. So large part of the liquid will be leaked from these holes. Then what happens? The column entirely will be just dumped with a liquid. Then that phenomena is called as a dumping. So very wet at low flow rates of vapor. So what happens? The vapor will not have a sufficient weight to hold that liquid. Then what happens? This liquid will continue to leak from these holes, perforations. Then that phenomena is called as a weeping. If the vapor flow rates is even very low, then what happens? Entire liquid will be just leaking from this holes or a perforation. Then that phenomena is called as a dumping. So how to observe this dumping? If you observe the differential pressure, okay, differential pressure dp, the plate to plate pressure, then if the pressure is drastically reducing in the plant, very reducing, then what happens? Then we can just sense that there is some counter phenomena like weeping or dumping. We have to identify during the plant operations. So weeping. So now what is the role of this weeping? How they define the column operating parameters like L and V. So how they will decide? Like if you see this one, weeping is very flow rate, very low vapor flow rate. So weeping will define minimum vapor pressure, vapor flow rate required. Minimum vapor flow rate required by the column, by the particular column, is defined by weeping. Then the maximum vapor flow rate, okay, it will be decided by flooding. Flooding will decide maximum allowable vapor flow rate, which is V. So in between this one, flooding is maximum flow rate, maximum V, max V is a flooding, and minimum vapor flow rate is VP. So in between these two phenomena, we have to choose our optimum vapor flow rate. Optimum V we have to we have to choose. When we define V with respect to L will be automatically set down. So this operating parameters of the column like L and V is very important because these two parameters only just flowing through these plates. So when you define your V in between this VP condition which required maximum minimum V and flooding condition which required maximum V, in between this one when you define our column will be at ideal or optimum operating conditions of L and V. So this was the case to the factors which are influencing the efficiency of a column. Then the next one is a reboiler temperature. So okay, how the reboiler temperature will influence. Next factor which is affecting the efficiency is a reboiler temperature. So how this reboiler temperature will influence the efficiency of a column. If you consider this as a column, so we are defining here L is flowing from the top to bottom and V is flowing from the bottom to top. But how this V is coming? Because of this reboiler only, this V is coming. If this reboiler is fouling, okay, fouling, I think you already learned fouling about fouling in the heat transfer. So fouling is nothing but formation of a scale. If you consider this as a reboiler, so the scales, a salt layer, a scale will be formed here. So contaminants will form some scale-like composition. When the scale-like composition is there, this will reduce the heat transfer coefficient H, and as well as the temperature will be drastically reduced. The temperature which is supplied through this steam coil to the inside fluid will be drastically reduced. So heat transfer will be drastically reduced. At the same time, because of this heat transfer coefficient, Q will be reduced because Q is equal to HA delta T. So HA delta T, when H is reduced, Q is also reduced. So because of this low heat transfer, the vapors production, so V production will be very low. So because of this, we have to consider the reboiler temperature is also one parameter in evaluating the efficiency of the column. If we don't want the heat exchanger, this reboiler or a condenser is nothing but one type of heat exchanger. So these heat exchangers needs to be installed in such a way that they should be self-cleaning. Okay, there are many advancements in the heat exchangers also. If we install a self-cleaning heat exchangers, that will itself clean this fouling. Whatever the scales are forming, it will clean that fouling self-cleaning. Then we will have to install some remote monitoring. Some monitoring device we have to install so that it will measure heat transfer coefficient and temperature of the reboiler. If these two parameters are under control for the reboiler, then we can say that our Q will be same. Q is equal to what we desire. So Q is equal to Q optimum. Then in order to run our distillation column optimum at a maximum flow rate, at a optimum vapor flow rate, we have to check at regular intervals of time what is the heat transfer coefficient from the reboiler and what is its optimum temperature. We have to sense that temperature and heat transfer coefficient using some remote device. So usually the operations are DCS operation, distributed control system operations. So they will remotely handle all these problems. Then the next one column parameter is reduction in vacuum. So how this reduction will in vacuum will be influenced. You might have seen in the heat transfer boiling point elevation. So boiling point elevation. So if your column has to operate under vacuum conditions, vacuum condition is below atmospheric pressure. Below 1 atma is called as a vacuum condition. So vacuum condition, when your desired vacuum condition, pressure condition is PT is equal to some 0.01 atma, but your vacuum is reduced. Vacuum is reduced means your pressure has been increased. You have increased your pressure to some 0.02 atma, but you are supposed to operate your distillation column at 0.01 atma. Then what happens? Since at 0.1 atma, for example, if your feed will have a boiling temperature, boiling point of your feed is some 100 degrees centigrade, if you consider at this atma. So if you increase the pressure, what will happen? Feed boiling point will be obviously will reach some 102 to 110 degrees centigrade. I'm writing just roughly this one. So feed boiling point will be just elevated. This is called boiling point elevation. Boiling point elevation. Okay, without considering your vacuum has been reduced inside the column. If you operate your column at the 100 degrees centigrade and total pressure of 0.01 degrees centigrade, what will happen? The mismatch between this temperature, boiling temperature, and this total pressure of the column will just result in less vapor flow rate. So, okay, less vapor flow rate. Then when there is a less vapor flow rate, the corresponding liquid will be very less flow rate. The column will be inefficient, will operate below the efficiency, below the true efficiency of the particular column. So in order to do so, every time we have to verify whether our parameters are okay or not. So when our pressure is at 0.01 atma, then our TB, true boiling temperature, will be at 100 degrees centigrade. When our pressure we increase it to 0.0 atma, then we have to just find out at what is the boiling point elevated. So how much degrees the boiling point has been elevated. Then our column has to operate at these conditions, or otherwise we have to reduce our pressure. We have to decrease our vacuum conditions to this condition. So we have to check using the VLE diagram at what stages our column will be operating. So because of this, if you reduce the vacuum of the column, it will also have an adverse effect on the efficiency of the column. Then the next one is a wet feed, and wet feed is also one operating condition. Then what is this wet feed? So the next parameter is wet feed. So wet feed is nothing but dry. Means what is dry? Dry, if you say, for example, some hydrocarbons are there. So like crude oil. Okay, oil is not miscible with water. Okay, we know that fact. If some wet feed is there, your feed desired is hydrocarbon feed. When water is getting into your dry feed, water plus dry feed, then what happens? This will be called as a wet feed. When this wet feed is entering your column, so wet feed is entering your column. So what happens when this liquid is just reaching to the below one? So after reaching here in the reboiler, first what happens? That since water compared to the oil, water will have a less boiling point. This water will just what will say? Water will just vaporize. This vaporized pressure will create a huge pressure, huge burden on the top section of the distillation column. Then what happens? The column trace will, whatever the trace are there, it will be damaged due to the unnecessary pressure created by the contaminant like feed water. This water, when feed is contaminated with some water, it is called as a wet feed. When there is a wet feed inside this column, so the vapors forming is largely of this water. Vapors will be largely of this water. Then this the water vapors will create a huge burden on the top section of the column. Then because of this huge burden, the column pressure will be increased. When column pressure is increased, the boiling point of this liquid will be the liquid feed will be elevated or increased. Because of this unnecessary condition, the plates will be damaged. So it will destroy the plates. It will tear the plate. Okay, it will just crack the plates because of this unnecessary pressure. So wet feed is also a necessary conditions. We should ensure that whatever the feed we are giving, it should be very less contaminated. Okay, it should not be contaminated. So this was the factors which are affecting the distillation column. Then after this one, how to obtain a satisfactory plate efficiencies. What are we already defined now? What are the factors which are affecting our plate efficiencies? But what are the what we have to do to increase the plate efficiency, to have a satisfactory plate efficiency? We have to see. If you want a satisfactory plate efficiency, you have to properly operate your trays, properly operate your column. So the column parameters is also important. Yeah. Next one is the weather conditions. Here I forgot to discuss about this one. Weather conditions. How the weather conditions will influence. Large part of this distillation column in the industry is left openly, okay, open to the atmosphere. When atmosphere condition is winter conditions, what happens? The outside temperature will be very low compared to the inside temperature of this distillation column. Though we have insulated our entire distillation column, some impact will be shown by this outside weather. So if outside weather is cold, according to that one, we have to modify our inside conditions also. Then only our uh, then only our column will operate properly. Otherwise, depending on the weather conditions, that boiling point elevation or some other unnecessary conditions will just get results. Just wait once. Yeah. When okay, okay, when weather conditions are different, what we are required. So depending on that one, we have to change the internal distillation column operating parameters also. If we are not changing that one, our column will operate inefficiently. So in order to operate our plates efficiently, we have to operate our conditions with a good column conditions as well as good weather conditions. Okay, weather conditions also we have to take into consideration. Then advocate and intimate contact between vapor and liquid phases must be provided. So we have to provide advocate contact between vapor and liquid phases so as to increase the mass transfer. Mass transfer. Our role in distillation column is to increase the mass transfer so that the more volatile component which is present in the vapor liquid phase will be just transferred to the vapor phase. That's our usual criteria in the distillation column. To do so, we have to have a large contact area, large contact time we should have. So we need to provide somewhat large contact time and large surface area so that the exchange between vapor and liquid will be very high. Then the next one is unfavorable phenomena such as entrainment, excessive foaming, weeping, flooding. So all these unnecessary parameters, unnecessary operating parameters, we need to neglect. We need to cut out that parameters. Then only our column will have a satisfactory efficiency. Then the next one is select good tray construction material so as to lower fouling, wear, tear, and corrosion. So fouling material, depending on the particular feed which we are employing, whether when it is a corrosive liquid, we have to use some of the stainless steel or a high carbon steels. So like this, we have to select our construction material also, depending on what type of feed we are handling. So these are only the 4 points which we can have for the satisfactory performance of the plate efficiencies. Okay, all these parameters, on these parameters only, our operating plate efficiency will be dependent. So this is very important concept. They are asking in the long answer questions. Okay, do you have any doubts? Anybody please respond.
No, sir.
Okay, I'm giving one material, this one for the factors affecting this tray efficiency. Just read that one. I already uploaded to the Teams also, as well as I'm just sending to the WhatsApp.
This entire chapter is about design only, sir.
Sorry, Ravi, your voice is cutting.
This entire chapter is only about designing of the distillation column, sir.
Sorry, Ravi, once again, please. Distillation column.
The entire chapter is about design only, sir.
1 second, please check your signal, Ravi. Not getting some column is getting. Can anybody able to listen this question? Then please explain me once.
This entire chapter is about design only, sir.
Yes, yes. Entire chapter is about
No,
design only. Yes,
no
yes.
problem.
No problem. Problems.
Yes,
We
sir.
already solved two problems based on McCarthy method.
Yes, sir. Only those three.
Yes, the major point here is to calculation of the number of plates required. That
Yes,
is
yes.
just one procedure is given according to you. But in the BTech studies, there are Ponchon-Savarate method, Lewis-Sorrell method. Everything will be there. It's a very hard chapter in BTech studies. But here,
Yes.
according to your syllabus, it is only McAfee method, so it is very easy. That's what
That is
they are
easy,
in.
sir.
Yes, Ravi.
That is easy, sir. Make up feeling it.
That is only McAfee method. Easy method. That's very easy method. That's the
Yes,
only there in your syllabus. So based on that only, many times, every time they are asking, explain the procedure of McCarthy method, and
yes,
if required, they are giving one problem based on that. You have to estimate. Okay, I have
yes,
already teached this one. Minimum reflex ratio. The
yes,
formulas,
sir.
4 to 5 types of formulas it has come. So that formulas we have to apply in the same problem. McCarthy method. If they are providing us various composition, XW, everything, when they are not mentioning reflex ratios, then we have to estimate using that one single formula. Our required parameters also we have to estimate. That type of
Yes,
problems, there is no problem that one. So I can't see that one. They are not giving in your old question patterns. Okay, now
yes.
if your doubts are over, then I will like to discuss the recent paper. Now the one recent paper has come, mass transfer operations. If you have any doubt, just
No,
extend
sir.
this. Yeah. Okay. That paper they have given for the supplementary exam. There is one out of syllabus question as well as one problem is there in that one. Okay, they have missing data. One problem, they have given a missing data from the distillation column. So what is this missing data? We have to identify. Okay, my suggestion is when there is you find some missing data, just on the spot you assume some data and try to attempt that one. Okay, then only examiner is possible to give some marks. Otherwise, when you are not attempting because of lack of data, then the marks we cannot give marks. Okay, nobody has attempted this problem. Maybe what's the problem, I don't know, because of lack of data or something. Only they have missed the parameter R, reflux ratio. Yeah, if you see this problem from the distillation column, so a feed containing 42 percentage heptane and 58 mole percentage ethyl benzene is to be fractioned at 760 mmHg to produce a distillate containing 97 mole percentage heptane and residue containing 99 mole percentage ethyl benzene. Similar type of problem we have done that one. So from this one we can identify heptane is a more volatile component. So XF is equal to 0.42. Then we can neglect this one. The total pressure is 760 mmHg, not required. To produce a distillate means XD is equal to 0.97. Then residue containing 99 mole percentage ethyl benzene. Okay, ethyl benzene. If you see 99 mole percentage ethyl benzene is going to the bottom. Bottom means bottom will have a residue, high residue, whereas in distillate high what we call this one. Mm, okay. Yes, yes. Heptane is the low volatile component from this data. Then 99%, 97 percentage will be in the heptane will be in the distillate. So 0.97%, 0.97 is the XD composition, and remaining 99 percentage ethylene means 1 percentage is heptane. So 0.01 is our XW. So all the data required they have given. Determine the minimum number of equilibrium stages needed for a liquid feed at its boiling point. So there here the data missing is R value, it is missing reflux ratio. So without reflux ratio, how can you calculate the, how can you estimate the operating line for top section or enriching section? Top section, the first procedure for the distillation column is this one. McCarthy method is this one. So first we have to draw data, they already provided this one. So XF they already provided, it is 0.48. Then XD 0.97, XW is equal to 0.01. They have provided all these parameters. Okay. Then we can assume if they are not provided that F value, we can take a basis as 100 kilomole or 100 mole basis we can take. F is equal to, basis is equal to 100 kilomoles of feed. We can assume that one, no problem. From this XFF, using these formulas, F is equal to D plus W, we can calculate, or XF F is equal to XDD plus W XW. Using these two formulas, we can calculate all the missing parameters. But according to this one, the equilibrium diagram can be drawn using this data, X and Y data. Okay, using this X and Y data, we can draw equilibrium diagram. No problem on this also. So equilibrium diagonal we can draw by connecting these 2 points, and equilibrium also no problem because data has been provided X versus Y. Then the first step in estimation of number of plates is this one. First we have to locate our XD. XD is equal to this one. We have to project until the diagonal. Then from this diagonal, you have to draw the operating line for the top section or the enriching section. For drawing that one, we have to like operating line. Operating line is y is equal to r by r plus 1 into x. Sorry, this is x plus xd by r plus 1. So here how we will bring this r? From where you will bring this r? Without this r, how can you solve that problem? Whether for estimation of this intercept also you required r. For estimation of this slope also you require this r. So how can you attempt? My suggestion is when you encounter this type of problem, if you encounter that some data is missing, whatever the missing data is there, you just assume the data some point. If you want to judicially assume that data, just see that one in the XF 0.48 is there. XD is maximum heptane is reaching in this one top section. So distillation is very efficient. So distillation is very efficient. Only the 0.01 percentage of 1% of residue is heptane. So 1% only there in the heptane. So maximum 99% has been gone up to the distillate. Meaning distillation here is the very efficient according to this problem. You can take your R high, okay, very high you can take. So around 2.5 to 3.5 or 4 until 4 also you can take. But judicially you just assume this data and try to calculate your slope is equal to xd is equal to 0.97 divided by if you assume 3 plus 1 is equal to 0.97 by 4. Now the problem has been solved. Intercept you will just draw this line or top section operating line. Then XF already given. XF is equal to this one 0.48. Here it will be projected up to this line, and after this line they may be given that one feed conditions. Yes, feed is at its boiling point. Boiling point, it is also wrong. When there is a mixture, we can't call that boiling point. It is called as a bubble point. So no problem when it is given as a boiling point, but it is supposed to give as a bubble point. When feed is at its bubble point, Q is equal to 1. We know that one. For Q is equal to 1, this is the feed line. Q is equal to 1. Then we can by this connecting this line XW also we know 0.01. XW it should be projected up to the diagonal line. Then the intersection point of these two lines we have to connect this like this. So now there is no problem, we can draw plates. So only the missing data is that R is the missing data. So that one you can just assume that one. But try to attempt this type of problems. It will be very easy. Then it will get a full marks if you attempt this one. If you don't judicially assume the data also, it is fine. Okay, any data you can just assume.
Sir, we have to take R is equal to 0 now, sir.
Or why you have to take 0? Without reflex ratio?
Because distillation is maximum, sir. If distillation is maximum, reflex will be minimum, no, sir.
Distillation is maximum, reflex will be?
We got distillate 0.97%, no, sir.
Yes, distillate. Okay. If you see, if you see this as a condenser, what is R? R is nothing but this one, L by D.
Yes,
okay. When reflux ratio is when L we are sending very high, then only the enrichment in the that's the major role in the continuous distillation column. When L amount is very high, we are sending inside that one. There is a possibility that vapor and liquid will exchange with each other. Then our maximum more volatile component will be reaching to the top. Okay, in the single go it will not happen. When reflux ratio is high only, our distillate will be what we say, we can't say that runs, number of runs. Okay, this L composition we have to send maximum. So L will be very high, we can assume. So R may be greater than 1 you can take, but my suggestion is under these conditions, if the purity of the liquid, if you see this one, purity is 0.97, 0.97. The purity is very high means the distillation is very efficient. I am not commenting on this one. So D, I am not commenting. I am commenting on the purity XD. So D is different. So D is different. XD is a composition. XD composition is nearly 97 percentage, means very, very, very high. Okay, usually distillation columns will not reach this much high in a single go. Okay, because it is very high composition means the purity is very high. So large part of liquid is just they are recycling back. So when L is greater amount, R will be higher. So R is equal to L by D. So this is directly proportional to R is directly proportional to L. Because of this, L will be high. Is it okay, Ravi?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm not commenting on D, only the composition I'm commenting. XD 0.97 percentage. The purity is very, very, very high. Okay, I have taken 3 minutes extra. No problem. Thank you. Okay, the next class, third hour also, I will continue with the mass transfer only. I will just go to the leaching unit.